So today we're going to talk about gear, but not just any gear. We're going to talk about budget gear, but not just any just random budget gear. We're going to talk about budget gear that I actually use every single day, because I feel like some people just throw out different stuff, but they're professionals using really expensive gear, and you're just like, and also this isn't necessarily budget gear, but just gear that's under $200, I'm going to say. Now that might seem like, whoa, that's not budget for some people. Some people would be like, that's really cheap. Everybody has a different idea of what budget means, so I'm just going to say $200. All right, that's the max we're going to be going. We're not going to be going on anything over that. And also, but quick before I start, I'm not going to be talking about any lenses or cameras or anything like that. I'm actually going to be talking about tiny little accessories that make your life as a filmmaker a whole lot easier. So you got your lens, you got your camera. What's the next thing you're going to need? A memory card, whether that's a micro SD, SD, CF Express, CFast, or Mag. Doesn't really matter, but I think the most common one is probably an SD card, just because most cameras nowadays take those. That's kind of like the modern ones. Most cameras have SD card readers built into them. So so a lot of people, myself included, used to think that you can just get any SD card, just stick it in your camera, call it a day. Just get like a $10 SD card, and like this one. This is a SanDisk Ultra. It says Ultra on it, so you're like, oh, that must be good, right? You have to actually read it, and this is 30 megabytes per second write speeds, I believe. So that means that this is just barely 4K recording, and I record in ProRes, and that's not enough for ProRes. So this is a card, and you might think it's Ultra, but you have to look at how many megabytes read speeds it is. This is probably like about $10. And I think my favorite SD cards right now are gonna be these Laxar Professional cards. I just love them. I haven't had any problems with them. They're 250 megabytes per second write speeds, so that's really fast. You're not gonna have any problems with them generally, like unless you're shooting like 8K at 120 FPS or something crazy like that. But most people watching this video probably are gonna be fine with these. These are, I think, my favorite cards. The great thing about them is that they're really fast. So this is 8K recording plus, so you can do anything with it. You can record ProRes, Blackmagic Raw, all those crazy big raw formats with these. No problems whatsoever. You can get a 64 gig card, you can get a 120. The 120 one is currently in the camera right now. They're about like $40 for the 60 gigs and like $70 for the 120. And that might not seem like a budget for an SD card, but it is under $200, so I'm including it in this video. And that's kind of for SD cards. Now, after you got your SD cards, you're probably gonna want a mic. The built-in mics on the camera are generally not very good. So for the mic I'm using, it's actually right up above me here, but if we just bring this into the shot, this is the Rode Video Mic Go. It's actually meant to be an on-camera mic, but right now I've kind of did a little hack with it where I put it on a boom pole there. And this mic, I don't think it's the one I'd recommend actually. I mean, it's okay, but there's a lot of actually great mics nowadays that are just as good, maybe a little bit worse than this one, that are about $50. So you can get that one. This one does pick up a lot of hiss, and I don't like it, but that's what I have. And you can, this is $150, I believe. I'd actually really recommend the, what is it? Is it the Micro? Yeah, the Rode Video Micro. This is the Video Mic Go. I'd recommend the Rode Video Micro. It's about $68, and this one I think is kind of the same as that one, but just cheaper. So I'd recommend that one. Although I have experience with this one, and it's okay. It does the job. So after you got your mic, another thing that a lot of people, it's kind of overlooked. You might not think about this, but I think a really important thing to get is filters. So as you can see, I think the two most common type of filters are neutralizing density filters, also known as NDs, and polarizers. There's also mist filters. I don't currently own any of those, but I do want to add those to my collection one day. Let's first start at polarizers. Now, polarizing filters are basically used to get rid of reflections. What it does is it gets rid of all the reflections on stuff, even in the sky. So it makes the sky look really blue. Like if your sky is really white, it'll make it look blue. And so yeah, if you're recording with sunglasses, if you're recording like a computer screen, then you're gonna wanna slap one of these on. These are polarizing filters. Oh, and you can get one of these for probably like about $20, I think. I'm actually not sure on that, but I think about $20. The different costs depending on how much quality you want, probably about $20 to $100. Like that's probably the range that you want to get them for. And then there's neutralizing density filters, also known as NDs. And I actually like these. I think I use these more than polarizers. Basically what these are, this is a variable ND, so I can change the strength of it. I don't know if you can see that there. But basically what an ND does is it allows you to shoot outside in all that nice light without changing your shutter speed or your aperture. And basically what that's gonna allow you to do is basically shutter speed, generally you want that to be double your frame rate to get the natural amount of motion blur. Otherwise it's gonna look really choppy and weird. When you're shooting outside, a lot of light's coming into the lens and you're probably gonna need to change your shutter speed, or you can get one of these NDs. Slap it on your camera. I'll just do it with this. So basically, and you don't have to change your shutter speed. Also, you don't have to change your f-stop as well, which basically gets that nice depth of field. Next thing I'm going to talk about is a Unipod. A tripod's also very important, but I'm not going to really go into that in this video. But Unipods, I never would have thought I'd want a Unipod. Like, I've kind of like been like, okay, they're cool, but actually I have it on the mic stand here. I'm going to actually do a whole video on how I made this. But this is a Unipod. And basically, oh, you're probably not going to be able to hear me right now. This is a Unipod, and basically what it allows you to do, I'm actually going to just put some B-roll in it so you can just keep this up here. Basically, what a Unipod is it's kind of like a tripod, but it doesn't have feet, so you don't put it on the ground and film with it, but it's more like a stabilizer. So it's basically kind of like a cheap gimbal, you could say. And also you can use it for crane shots. A lot of the time when you're just holding your camera, you only have one perspective on life, you could say, where you only see it through that angle. But if you have a Unipod, you can get crane shots. You can really get it from different angles. So yeah, Unipods are great. I think you can get some for like $60 probably. And then next, this is not really a filmmaking thing, but it's a thing that you're probably gonna need to have. Not necessarily. I don't even know why I included it in this video, to be honest with you, but I just needed something, and that's a dongle. So dongles, I mean, if you have an Apple computer, you're definitely going to be wanting these, but even if you don't, basically what a dongle allows you to do is have more ports on your computer to plug in, let's say, one of these external hard drives. And basically you can have multiple external hard drives, an SD card reader. Generally computers do have SD card readers. You can also get in. Basically what a dongle is, it just allows you to have more ports. So that's going to be helpful when editing. There's not really nothing else I have to say about a dongle. And the last thing I want to say, this is probably the most important thing actually, is lights. So once you got your camera, once you got all that stuff I'm talking about, I'm actually going to use this light here. You're probably going to notice a lot of shadows on there, but this is the light that I'd actually recommend. This is about $150, so it's just ranging on the limit here. But basically, what this light is, it's a newer, I actually don't know the model number, but it'll be in the description. So all the stuff I'm talking about will be in the description. So if you want to buy it, you can get it from there. Basically, what this light is going to do, if I just actually plug it back in, I can kind of show you. It comes with 2 lights as well as a softbox. So basically, a softbox is just going to get some nice soft lighting on you. I turn this light on, it goes, this is like its dimmest setting. It goes really bright, so if I just show that on there. So, and then it also has, it's not an RGB light, so that means it doesn't do all the colors in the color spectrum, but it does have, like, you can make it a warmer light, as you can see here, or you can make it a cooler light, and that really does change the tone of your image. The one thing that I don't like about this light is just the build quality. It's really plasticky, and like, you feel like you're gonna break it every single time. Like, if this drops, I don't think it's gonna survive. So like, it's not very well built, you could say. And that's probably where the price range comes in for this. Overall, it's not very good build quality. It's not the most expensive light, but for the price, which is about $150, I think it's worth it. Like, and it just gives you a whole, similar to a Unipod, it gives you a whole nother perspective. It allows you to like get really bright. And the lights go pretty bright, I have to say. So yeah, that's my video on, you know, I don't want to say budget, but filmmaking accessories that I use. Oh, I forgot that one. Always remember to have a nice day. See ya. That wasn't very good, but
I thought it was good.